Hi YouTube, how are you? I'm doing pretty good. If we have some interruptions, I'll just work through it. Um, Not a big deal, or it shouldn't be, I hope. I'm going to talk today about how to spot situations in relationships, work groups, um, social groups, uh, people in general, how to spot the signs of them wanting to treat you like a commodity, but not a human being. So I'll give you some of my, I don't know, experience, but my observations in this area in a little bit here. So, um, say, for instance, it's in a work situation and you have special abilities that other people at that workplace, that environment, they aren't capable of doing, but the boss will come and get you. He doesn't want to give you that managerial position, but he wants to use your expertise, or she, in an area where other employees aren't qualified or won't do it for various reasons. Just a second. Cheers, everybody. I'm sure most of you have ran across this feeling like a commodity, especially in the workplace. It's you're the going rate. Yeah. But okay, so like say if it's a family, um, could be a family of people that are um, into black magic, and they see that you have abilities that they want to manipulate and mold into their wishes and their wants. And then I'll go into like a personal relationship, like a marriage. Um, you can spot if somebody's going to treat you like a commodity. First off, they are not going to care about your feelings. None of these people are going to care about the individual you. If it causes you sorrow, or if they were to use you and not see the um, ramifications of their actions, how it sits with you, how they view you in that relationship. That is the type of relationship I am in. It is um, give and take, tit for tat, which should be normal anyway, but it isn't like um, it's not equally yoked, because I don't go into a relationship thinking, what can this person do for me? Because I'm self-sufficient. I go into a relationship thinking, how can we build things together to make the world a better place, or to create something within our lives, or that type of thing. And then let's talk about friendships. Just a sec. That one, that's almost more painful than a faulty marriage, because, and I say faulty not for the sense that we're unable to work together at all, because um, we can. It's not always for the betterment or the building or anything. It's a barter situation. If I don't do such and such won't be done for me. And I've learned that with all these. Um, okay, so like with a friendship on a personal level, you can tell if these people are actually caring about your feelings and stepping in your shoes when they want something from you and aren't willing to examine the outcome of how that will affect you when they want something from you. Like, is it going to cause you any stress? Is it going to hurt your heart? Is it going to physically enable you in some way, or taking energy and making you tired when you can't afford to do that? Or what are they personally ignoring that will happen to you for their wants and needs? You know, treating you like a commodity instead of an actual friend, you know. So then I'll talk about social groups and social gatherings. I've experienced people like the idea of being admired and being oh, there's some outside noise. It's not here, it's the neighbors, but it's pretty loud. Probably hear it. Oh, sounds like birds stressed out. These dogs over here might have something cornered. Anyway, I'll try and concentrate when I'm talking about here. Just a minute. Oh no. Then I'm thinking in my mind, trying to identify the voice of the bird, what bird it is. So, um, anyway, it sounded like blue jays. So, anyway, okay, just a minute. I'll get it together here. So, like, say if you're online and you're in a social situation, where everybody's all jolly and they're welcoming up to a certain point, but there's also you're a commodity in this situation no matter what, because the people doing the videos are wanting those views, so you really never know if you're valued or appreciated for anything. But um and then how people will absorb your information or ideas and overlook anything you've said. One person did sort of comment. I was talking about the family crests and banners and the colors of those things of the elite. I hate that term, but and how they'll change. Like if they got married, there'll be a symbol indication or in a color change within their crest and banners, um, all indicating more than just looking at that family crest. You can read the colors and the symbols and the other things of what that is. Um, I brought that, which I know a lot about, and I brought that to people's attention, and they ignored it. But I do know that they'll probably investigate it later and play off of what I already know, not come and ask me or comment on anything I've said, but take it for their own, and hopefully they hope to make money off of you like a commodity once again. Or here is a scenario I heard, and I've heard this over and over and over again. So there's some people that believe in the Great Mother, that she helps people in different ways and whatever. But it's written down, God knows what moron and wrote this, that you're not supposed to speak her name. Well, first off, being that she's an entity, she doesn't really actually even have a name. If How could you speak something you don't even know? If I thought some guy was God, I'd still call him by his given name on this planet. I wouldn't tell people, oh, like, or even in the ether, try and act like, oh, don't um contact this person as just a commodity. This is just source. Um, you're forbidden to directly contact this because the dark cabal runs the whole world, and the last thing they want you to do is have direct contact with anybody that can actually do something to you, yeah, for you, if they aren't being treated like a commodity. But imagine if you were in the position that you could do things for people and they knew that, but they wouldn't even talk to you like a human being. What then? What are we protecting God from people that are less powerful? Are we actually um, doing anything besides leaving a sour taste in the mouth of the source that could do things for people, but probably won't because you don't acknowledge them as a person? You know, some people believe like Christ walked the earth as a man. Didn't they talk to him, or did they just treat him like source and avoid him like the plague so the dark cabal could have that control over everybody and God? Because that's what's going on. But I do get treated like a commodity. I give people ideas, and um, my imagination is wild, to say the least, in my ability to invent things and put that in the minds of other people, and that truly is a gift from God, that people know that I have these abilities, but yet won't even talk to me as a human being, you know? Yeah, right. And like, especially with the men, you're not protecting me, you're protecting yourself from the dark force that tries to keep me secluded so people won't have that deep connection with somebody that can actually help this whole world. And that's what's happening to me. I can't prove a thing, but it is a fact. Um, they know who we are, the dark cabal, the people with insight, foresight, and supernatural, not magic, supernatural abilities. They know before we're even born what we're born to do on this planet. And when they use us or you as a commodity, there's nothing virtuous about it. It's totally self serving in every extreme. Like I say, people's groups, families, whoever. And it's one thing to be like introverted and enjoy your own company and your peace of mind and your prayerful or meditative time. You know, that's one thing. But when everybody treats you like a commodity or like they're protecting some sacred secret, um, it's just cold. It's about as it's nasty. I mean, I'm very sure I've tried to tell people before. It's like my sons becoming adults and then saying, "Mom, we want this from you," or "We want that from you, but we won't honor you as our mother because we feel godlike. We feel like we made you. So we're not going to give you the honor and the respect that you deserve." And that's how I command respect. I don't tell you you have to respect me. I show you that you have to because you don't have a fucking choice, you know. But how am I supposed to feel towards these people that want something from me but don't even want to acknowledge me as a human being? What would you do? You know, what do you do in that extent? I walk. I don't care if it's a job, a family. I don't care. Friendships, whatever they say they are, the minute I'm treated like a commodity, I'm gone. You already emotionally lost the connection you could have had out of your own greed for whatever reason it is. I don't care if it's position in the community or how you're going to look in the eyes of your friends or your family or whoever it is. People lose the best thing in their life, a loyal friend that can actually do things in the ether for you, but won't because you're failing on the virtue level. It's a fact. I mean, I can't only do things in the ether, but yes, I can. But I'm very talented in a lot of ways that I can teach people so many things. I don't even have the opportunity. I don't have a voice. They want to use my ideas, my inventive nature, not give me credit, take it for their own, and not talk to me like a human being. It's not very nice. It's not a good feeling. And I was born into this. I'm here to expose the ways of the dark cabal. Of course, a lot of people are catching on because you are a slave to the system. I'm enslaved in other ways, just like I'm expressing right here. That's my confinement that I don't bring on myself. It's like a jealous woman. That's not my problem. That's her problem. But she'll try to make it my problem. She'll try to make it seem like I thought or did something on the scale and the level that her mind is at. And I've fought all my life to prove different, and I do prove it. I mean, it's obvious, you know. And then there's a few times I've been stuck up for um never stuck up, but stuck up for a few times in my life. But there's times I've had like the most crass things happen to me and people just look at me like I'm somehow deserving of the cruelness that people exhibit towards me. Unbelievable. Just like I say, once again, if you would know the name of God and you wouldn't call on that name, what? What stupid fucking moron ever wrote that in a book? You know? Why would somebody write that in a book? You believe in God and then you tell people not to call on that name. That's crazy. I'm sure it doesn't make God feel very good, or that part of God. You know, people that get treated like that, most likely you're um, some type of messenger, some type of daemon or angel messenger. with those types of insights. So whether you're working for good or bad, that's on you. But you can spot it ahead of time if you're in, say, like you're in a live stream, and then you see these people take your bits of information and look into it on their own, and you know they're gonna. You also know that they're really just playing with your feelings. They don't really personally care about you. You are a commodity, you know. If we run across the very few people on this planet that actually are sensitive to manipulation, you can't really be brainwashed and you can't be controlled. And a lot of people don't like that. They don't like the fact that you just don't do exactly what they want you to do. Some people can handle it because they're strong enough and confident enough in themselves, but most people really can't handle it. And when you exhibit strength and intelligence in situations, I've seen it so many times, it's just sickening that people feel like they have to attack you because of their own insecurities and their lack of strength or their lack of self control. That's a big one with me and other women that puts an instant barrier in our minds automatically. So a lot of times I'll even end up looking like a fool till I can prove my point, and I usually call out the whole room as a bunch of slutty minded creeps. And I'll say something like, okay, I'm going to go in my room and have a couple hits. Who's with me? And I might, not a man, but a woman. There might be one that's like, yeah, she's right. Let's go have a couple hits and leave these jokers to do what they're going to do. Few times in my life I've had that privilege to have another woman around that truly got that type of feeling in that situation. But yeah, not much. Most people are, my mind refers to them like their brains are like silly putty, if you know what that is, or like jello, or it's like all over the place. It's like no rhyme or reason in there. They're totally controlled by the flesh, and they don't have a I don't think they can gather a strong sense of intelligence because they're consumed in other areas, you know. But yeah, I recognized it on a live stream yesterday, and then when they said, you know, the Great Mother, but you're not supposed to call on her name, doesn't that limit human beings from getting to know um, the entity that put us all on this planet? Isn't that limiting us from calling on her? Yeah, it is. Why is that? Why do they want to stifle the feminine voice? They want to use her power, but they don't want her to have a voice. They keep her hidden. Why is that? What a horrible way to be dishonored. There's no honor in that. That's control. That's being captive by everybody to be able to use her strength for free and not even acknowledge where that comes from. That's repulsive. because people have been taught that there's on this planet a male entity that's in charge of the whole thing, and that is just not the case. The inventiveness does not come from him. The abuse you're going to suffer will come from him, and you're actually supposed to say, hey, if I want to talk to the mother that made me, I'm going to talk to her. But these people don't have backbone enough or insight enough to know what they should be doing. And even in the scriptures, the littlest one is the one who's going to stand up against that and lead everybody else in that direction, because they've been brainwashed into thinking that it isn't a thing. It's a trinity. It's not a unity. Does not mean everybody. It, you know, not everybody is the Most High. Not everybody is the Holy Spirit. There's three separate entities. And we're not vying for control. It's nothing like this. People have got this so twisted. You're picking a team. That's it. Pick your camp and move there. That's the long and the short of it. You like the way dad controls and yaw the bay off his little offspring of fuckery, excuse me? Or do you like the intelligence of a mother that thinks ahead um, for protection of all her children, not just some secluded dimwits? I hope you caught that. I think some of you did, you know. But anyway, it does get lonely. And I see it coming ahead of time. First, people are like friendly because they want to draw you in. And then they try to annihilate you. First comes, it's like the narcissists in the love bombing stage. Um, they should, of course, show you their best behavior right up front. But later, you find out their true nature and what they're all about. And it's always about controlling you or I and putting you or I in our place so they can feel superior like that, you know? So, anyway, yeah, it's sickening. And though, okay, I could see, like, if a woman was afraid that her man or spouse or whatever would see interest in another person, that's between them, you know? But a lot of times the women don't just get jealous, the men do too. If you deny a man even attention, he could be married, he could be sitting right there with his wife, and if he feels snubbed in the little slightest bit, is going to forever after that try and punish you because you didn't join in with the little slutty game. So now your integrity has made you target number one of loneliness, because you just won't be like that for nobody. I won't compromise my principles for anybody. And I've been punished for it forever, and I'm so sick of it. And yeah, it makes me want to fight. I'm fighting mad about it inside. Anybody want to spar? I'm really serious. Anybody. If you're interested in a martial arts match out in my yard, nice flat spot, let me know. because somebody needs their ass beat, and it won't be me. Think what you want. I've been through this before, and you either know that or you don't. So, yeah, I have trained all my life to be the warrior I am. I'm not about to roll over and diminish who I am inside for anybody. And I'm not going to be used and let it just slide. It's not going to happen. One way or another, I'm going to let it be known that it is not a male entity that envisioned for everybody else. Some people know that, others don't. But it just depends on how in tune are you really. Can you imagine when people got together and decided to create a family, and if they had both at that time, were creating with love? If it wasn't a thing of control or ownership or entitlement, but actual love making that would create a child, how beautiful that child's heart and soul would be because of both of its parents going into it with a healthy heart. I don't know that I've ever seen that. That's why we're all mostly out of balance, because they aren't using the mother and father energies. They're um, using another person to masturbate with most of the time. It's not love making. They're just fucking each other over, you know. And usually that's most relationships don't last because that's the way people go into it, with that lustful mind instead of actually, um, like I told Doug when I first started dating him, well, you already know me as a person, because he did, in life, as a friend. Um, so I'm gonna be the biggest bitch you ever fucking saw. And then you can decide after that, after you've seen my worst, because he saw my worst. Yeah, he did. My worst is when somebody has physically and emotionally hurt me to the point where I'm going to do something in the dark and make it so they can't operate on their cruel level anymore. I'll sabotage somebody to get my way now. And I started acting like that at 34, and I've only done it a few times in my life to protect myself or myself and my kids. But I will do whatever it takes for self preservation, and I will do whatever it takes to make friends out here. I don't want the friendship of the whole world. I want a few select, righteous, worthy, virtuous people that walk with a repentant heart like I do. If I do something stupid, I know I do, and I fix it. If somebody does something stupid to me and they keep doing that stupid thing, I'm going to attack. And I probably am not going to stop until, like I say, I feel satisfied. What part do you want to bring out of somebody that's very strong? The loving side or the angry one? And who in their right mind would want to try and control somebody with sorrow? You know people like that? I do. It's not going to help the situation. I'm never going to turn dark, ever, and I'll battle against it until I leave this planet. But I just want people to be aware, like my granddaughters, their mothers, um, and my people here. Um, just be aware of not being treated like a commodity, no matter where you're at. It's not a very nice feeling, people. Um, and to live a whole life like that and to be kind of excluded for various reasons. It's sickening. And then people want me to keep doing for them, but don't even want to talk to me like a human being. Wow. Yeah. Anyway, you can spot whether people are just, if they're being fake, if they actually just want to use you for any abilities, or it could be, like I say, just for the views on in a social situation, whatever it is. So you can spot it a mile away. How you deal with it, that's up to you. You know, hopefully it will be gracefully. It doesn't always have to be, though, because when you're being annihilated from several directions, it's not just one. It's just not that one, this one, that one, many places, then you know there's something special about you, number one, and for that exclusion. And you know, if you're virtuous like that, that's the reason why. If you're intelligent like that, that's the reason why. If you're cute or witty or whatever, people that don't have some of these values are going to, they're bitter. They may have a spouse that treated them poorly, and it's easier for them to, so they'll stay where they're comfortable if they are. Um, but it's sort of like this. There's people that have done things to my sons that think they have gotten away with what they have done. And like myself, my kids were trained in different ways that the world is not prepared for. There's people that know them and they seem to be out of their minds, and right now they are. But that's not going to last forever, and all the training that I gave them in the past mentally will come to the surface. I know it will. And then the world's going to see a strength that they're probably not prepared for. Maybe. Do you think it's ever possible that a person's mind is strong enough that, say, if people wanted to have a son and keep their bloodline going, that somebody would actually have the ability to take that away from them in their life so they could stifle the dark cabal. Yes, it's very possible. And there's others that will have sons that are effeminate and can't ever recreate that control from a male entity on this planet ever again because they don't have the strength of that man. They're like a scepter, like a ghost, and it won't ever be allowed on this planet again. So, I'm not talking about that there'll be no criminal justice system because, yeah, if that's ever demolished, well, that wouldn't be a good thing. So, but I just wanted to talk a little bit on the way people will try and control me. And I mean, in person, people don't typically, they're not as cold as they are over the internet because that it could even be dangerous. You don't want to really poke somebody, you know, in person, but they can poke you. Not poking on Facebook like hi, but actually like pushing your buttons and stuff. It's easier for people to do that or to try and control other people over the internet because they don't have certain things for themselves. But once again, for people to say not to call on the name of God, first off, you don't know the name. And second off, that's the dumbest thing I ever heard. And there will be a price to pay for this ignorance. That's just stupid. It's as stupid as you or I to want a glass of milk and then to go up and kick the cow that would give you that. Do you think that cow's going to be in the mood to be milked when she just got kicked? I'd say most likely not. So, anyway, I'm going to get this uploaded. I do appreciate you joining me. Maybe some of you have lived through similar things, and I know in the workplace you most likely have. We've all been treated like a commodity, but to actually treat the female part of God like a commodity and not even mention that she's actually life itself is the dumbest thing I've ever heard of in my life. I can hardly believe it. And people are numb to it. They think, what is it, some type of fad? Or you think that because somebody is more powerful, that she's insignificant or deserves to be um, excluded. Oh, all right, everybody. Have a really good night or day wherever you're at. I appreciate you joining me. Peace and love from Pine City, Minnesota, USA.